little country air to relax those tense, jangled city-bred nerves.
I've been looking all over the county for you.
And you lost my trail here?
That's not funny. I hiked all over those hills.
Why'd you try the valley?
Listen. What was the name of that guy from Nevada that looked you up last month?
Jesse Crothers. He was a school friend of my father's.
I thought I remembered. He didn't try to sell you any mining stuff, did he?
No, but he told me about his mine. Wait a minute. He's not in any trouble.
The worst kind. Herbie's dead. He was down in his mine with an assay when the roof caved in. And about a week later, the roof caved in on those 19 investors of his here in the east. The mine was salted or had been planted in it. Now the investors are yelling for their money back.
Hard to believe.
Of course, there's always the possibility that somebody misled him about the value of the mine. So the department's sending me out to Nevada to work on it with the local sheriff there.
Father always spoke highly of Jesse Crothers. I can't believe that he's a swindler. If he were only here to defend himself.
Well, he isn't.
But I am. Nevada, huh? Well, good flying weather. When do we leave?
We?
Well, I've been working too hard, John. It's remarkable what a change of scenery can do to relax you. Oh, excuse me. Please? This is it. Lost Star, Nevada.
Lost Star. Well, Herb, this is lost, all right. This is the middle of nowhere. I wonder how we'd have been able to get here if we hadn't been able to rent the car at the airport.
Hiked, I guess. Your favorite sport.
Me hike those hills? That'll be the day. I've had my leg exercise last me a week.
All right, you two, just stay where you are. Not a move now. I get you dead to rights. As sheriff, I ain't informed you, you violated Statute 87, Section B, Paragraph 4. Illegal hitching of a wagon or any other moving vehicle so as to obstruct the normal passage of traffic on a main street.
Sheriff, we didn't hitch a wagon. This happens to be an automobile.
It's still a vehicle, ain't it?
Well, your statute pertains to obstructing the normal flow of traffic, and there isn't any.
Around here, that's normal. You talk like one of them Philadelphia lawyers.
My name is Herbert Maris, attorney at law, and this is Lieutenant Weston.
Weston? Oh, yeah, Weston, yeah. You're the fellow that's been sending me them telegrams, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, how do you do? You come right over to the office.
No, you must be mistaken, Lieutenant. No, my uncle couldn't have formed a stock company. Why, everybody around here knows that mine is worthless.
That's just the point, Miss Carruthers. He didn't sell his stock here. He went back east to do it.
You say the mine was worthless, yet your uncle said that you'd been staking him for the past 5 years.
Well, I just gave him a few dollars at a time. Enough for a grub stake and some tools.
Did he ever say that he'd made a strike?
No, but he hinted at it. About 6 weeks ago, he showed me some new specimens.
Oh? Do you have them here?
In back.
When he showed them to you, did you give him some more money?
No, I didn't.
Well, isn't that a little strange, Miss Carruthers? Here you've been staking him for 5 years without any result. Then when he finally came to you and hinted at a fine, you refused it. Why?
Because I don't...
Go ahead, Laura, tell him. If you don't tell him, I will.
Who's he?
Fred Regan. He runs the filling station for me. We're engaged to be married.
Only Laura kind of forgot about it. Till her uncle came along and started asking for more money. That's when I put my foot down.
You forbid her to give it to him?
That's right. Ever since I've known Laura, she's been shelling out her hard-earned money to that uncle of hers. It had to stop sometime.
And you didn't give your uncle the money to go east and set up the mining stock company.
Why don't you ask Nick Hawkins? There's his office. He's the guy with the capital in this town.
All right, Mr. Regan. Thank you. Well.
Oh, sure, that's right. Well, I financed Mr. Crothers' trip east.
Mr. Hawkins, $1,000 is a lot of money.
Well, I can afford it. The cattle business has been good this year.
Still a lot of money. What made you so sure that Crothers had struck it rich?
I wasn't sure.
Gave him the money.
Now, look here now. I don't have to answer a lot of questions.
Mr. Hawkins.
All right, I did it for Laura.
Brother's niece.
Yeah, chain of stations. Money down the drain. I reckon I just don't understand women.
Of course, you know that mine was salted. Now you're out $1,000.
Oh, I don't care about the money. It's Laura I'm worried for. She's liable to her uncle's creditors. Matter of fact, I'm considering buying her share of the mine.
But you'd be responsible for paying off the investors.
It'd be worth it. Just to show Laura how...
Tell you, I had nothing to do with salting that mine. I ain't even had my foot inside it. No, never.
But you said you were Crothers' best friend. You mean to tell me you never even visited the mine with him?
See here, mister, I don't know who you are, but I know who I am. I'm Loco, old Jesse Crothers' best friend. And any time he went hunting, I went hunting. And if he wanted to go fishing, I went fishing. But I never dug in no spooky old mine. No, sir.
You mean you're afraid of the mine, is that it?
No, it wasn't the mine I was scared of. It was the digging. I don't like exercise of no kind, except this kind.
Sure. Hope I ain't interrupting nothing sociable. I gotta talk to you, Lieutenant.
Okay, what is it?
Private like Loco.
Oh, I can take you in. Nobody's buying any drinks.
Lieutenant.
I'm buying. I'm afraid we aren't making any progress, Sheriff.
Didn't think you would. Anyways, it ain't important.
Not important. Listen to me. My department sent me 3,000 miles to investigate a swindle.
No, Lieutenant. There's some other things you gotta investigate. I just got back from the mine. I told you I had a hunch. From now on, we ain't after a swindler. We're after a killer. And I'll show you.
I had more respect for Tom Hurley's hunches when he showed us the marks on the timber. It looked as if a wire had been attached to it and rubbed splinters through the wood.
You see this line running through the dust?
Yes, Sheriff, I do.
Well, it's too thin for rope. That's where the wire was traced. Trace it clear back to the entrance. Somebody just stood outside and pulled, and down she come.
And there was no trace of the wire?
No. But I reckon the lieutenant here can find plenty more things.
Oh, well, you know, Sheriff, I'm not much on reckoning. Just exactly what do you think I can find?
Bloodstains, for instance.
Bloodstains?
Yeah.
You mean blood on the rocks?
That's the funny part. There wasn't very much. Them bodies, they was crushed pretty bad. Should have been more stains. Listen, it weren't the rocks that did all the crushing. Lieutenant, look. Found them tools laying here, too.
Now, Sheriff, they look pretty clean to me.
Oh, sure. The killer'd see to that. But if there's any blood on it, you'll find it.
I will.
Oh, sure, you can't fool me. I read up on all them newfangled police methods. You'll just examine it scientific-like.
Oh, you mean microscopic analysis?
Yeah, that should take it. Oh, and I know you must have brought all that scientific apparatus along with you, and you can use my office for a laboratory.
Oh, thank you very much, Sheriff.
Well, how's it going?
Who wants to know?
The sheriff.
20 times a day he puffs his head in here. It's always the same bit. How's it going?
He's proud of you, John. Just think, a real honest-to-goodness scientific criminal laboratory right here in his office.
Well, I haven't touched a lab job since I was a rookie in the force, and working with a makeshift setup like this.
Stick with it, John. You can't let the sheriff down.
I've done all I can do here. I matched those blood samples from the rocks, and then I wired some information off to Carson City. The boys up in the lab are checking it out for
You
me.
matched the blood samples?
Then that means the sheriff was right. You did find blood in that crowbar.
Yes, that's right, but there's always a possibility that it wasn't Crothers' blood or the assayers.
Well, what about the wire around the timber? Anything on that?
I checked on the timber myself with both rope and wire. Now, wire does leave a similar abrasion, but I'm not certain yet. Well, the sheriff wanted a scientific investigation, and that's what I'm going to try to give him.
Well, how's it going?
How's it going? Huh? How's it going? How's it going?
Well, we're not certain yet.
You silly fellas, you're all alike. Me? I play hunches.
Do you have any in mind right now?
Yeah, I think it might be a good idea if you was to ask a few more questions.
You mean before news of the murder angle gets out? I agree.
Only this time, we're going with you.
We?
Yes. Me and my little helper.
Sheriff.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me, Lieutenant. Maybe he can tell you. You hear from Carson City?
Yes, Sheriff, I did. Crothers, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but evidence indicates that your uncle was not the victim of an accident. He and the assayer were murdered.
No. Fred. Why would anyone want to kill my uncle? Why?
Whoever assaulted that mine would have been alarmed when the assayer went up there to investigate.
Well, Regan?
I can account for myself at the time of the accident. I was right here. Can you?
Certainly. Everybody in town knows where I was that day. The cattle sale over in Bingham.
Well, Lieutenant, you're the fellow with the scientific method. What do you do when everybody has an alibi?
Find somebody who doesn't have one.
Like Loco.
He said he'd never been near the mine.
Oh, where to get the ore samples?
What samples?
Well, the bartender up at the saloon tells me Loco tried to give him some ore in exchange for drinks.
Now listen, Sheriff. You fellas have got me all wrong. I don't know who put that sack under my bed. Somebody must have snuck in and just planted it there.
Oh, sure. Why didn't you bring them ore samples to me instead of trying to peddle them to the bartender?
Now, how did I know that they was to be phony?
This is a phony, all right. Look here. Silver on this side, nothing on the other. This piece of rock has been injected.
Get out of my way, will you? Yeah, sometimes you shoot it in with guns.
It's funny. Here's one of the ore samples that Laura gave me. She said she got it from her uncle. It's entirely different from the others.
Not even the same kind of rock. And look, the silver runs clear through this one.
Getting at that same spot.
Only one reason for them to be there would be to dig, but Crothers wasn't digging. He had a crowbar. He'd use that to pry something loose.
Boards. Alongside the...
Me did?
Yeah, you did. It's the real thing. Crothers did make his strike.
Yeah, he concealed his digging behind those boards, but somebody else found out. Whoever knew the secret wanted to keep the assayer from finding out the real value of the mine.
Yeah, it's Laura's mine now. She stood to gain the most once her uncle was out the way.
What about her fiancé, Reagan? He wanted money to build a chain of filling stations along the highway.
Yeah. And Nick Hawkins, he wanted to buy the mine, debts and all. Suppose he knew? Say, how do you city detectives track down a suspect? Do you figure to give them all the third degree?
Well, Sheriff, I'm afraid that's not part of the scientific method.
Sheriff, if you cooperate, I think I know a way to get the killer here to you within an hour. Now, here's what I have in mind. It was simple enough. All we did was tell them that Loco was up at the mine with some crazy notion of digging to try and find the real vein. As for us, we were on our way over to Carson City to confer with the officials about the murder evidence. Whoever the killer was would have to act fast. Our only chance would be if we acted.
You set it all up. You're waiting for me, huh?
We knew the killer would show up to destroy evidence of the real vein.
That's why you give Crothers the money, wasn't it? Huh? He told you about his find, and you tried to frame him by salting the mine. And after you get rid of him, you figured to buy it up cheap, didn't you?
Well, keep talking, Sheriff. I'm not admitting a thing.
You don't have to, Hawkins.
Your murder attempt here before witnesses is all we need.
That's a scientific method. Go on, get going.
What's the matter, John?
Look, do we have to take that shortcut again?
Scientific way.